G'day guys, how's it going? Welcome to another Tuesday night in the man cave. So what do we got going on tonight? We've got a few things, but I'll start with telling you that this week, so this Thursday, I won't have the Shit Easy motorcycle camp cooking, or on Friday, I most probably won't have the motorcycle filming and gear. I may, but more than likely not. As you can see, Max is here, he's all bloody loaded up, and I've been doing some training stuff with that. Me and Alistair are taking off hopefully this weekend. The weather is looking bloody pretty good. There's no rain. Can't believe it, no rain. Just absolutely sick of the rain. It's unseasonably rainy this year. I don't know what the hell's going on, but anyway, that's Mother Nature for you. So we're doing Little Desert. So you know we've done the Murray Sunset, which is big desert. We've done Whipperfeld. We did Whipperfeld terribly on that last run. And now we're doing Little Desert, which is the next one down. Now Alistair seems to think he's done half of it, and he's told me like he got the 50 Ks through it, and he was absolutely rooted doing that. So it's very straight. It's very there's not a lot of hills or dunes and stuff like that. It's very flat, but the sand is pretty full on getting through it. So, and obviously it's, you know, full on with your bloody all loaded up. So I'm a little bit worried about the thing, and I said to Alistair, I said, bloody hell mate, we've got to get through this. We've got to make it through, not do a Whipperfeld. So I've been doing a whole lot of downsizing on weight, and I've started doing a bit more bloody training, as in me walks and bits and pieces, which I'll discuss all that, and training on the bike anyway. So that's going to be, I'll talk about that most probably near the end of the video. I've got Never Fog. These Never Fog bloody satchels that we bought, we've been selling these. I'll give you we'll do an experiment basically. I've got the helmet there, I've got goggles, I've got glasses. Basically we'll get some steam happening, get them all steamed up, see what happens, and of course they'll just all fog straight up. Then what we'll do is we'll apply this stuff the way it's supposed to be done, and then do the same thing and see what happens. Also, I'll call this one the useless tip for the whippersnappers. It's not really a tip, it's more of it's what I've found. I've been using this Maxima bloody wax ever since I've had Max. I've been running that, and I love it. It just does the job so bloody good. But I thought, I've had this stuff. When I changed that over to the new chain, I only used this stuff. So I want to just show you a little bit of an experiment with that, to show you the differences and what my thoughts are on which one I think is best to use. Wait, and we'll bloody get to it. So, what else I'm going to do is, there's a few little bits and pieces on Max. Oh look, Harry's not featuring it, I know we talked about doing that thing. The weather's just been shitty. Haven't been motivated to bloody get Nay as well, you know, on the back of the bike and go out there and do that late at night. So I still haven't done that. Sorry to the cruiser guys, but it's just the way it is. You know, you've got to really want to do something to do it. But we will get there. So there's a few bits and pieces, and like a long-term review stuff, like with the valve extenders and bloody, there's some other stuff there. So we'll touch base on that. So what we'll first start off now with is we'll get into doing the that Never Fog. Alright, so I've got some water here boiling away, so I'm getting this steam bloody coming up. So the first thing we'll do is, this is Nay's helmet, and she has fogging problems. You know, when you pull up at traffic lights or you're going really slow, you have to do the whole bloody lift that up and let the bloody, it all unfog. So she cops that. And if we whack that over, hey presto, as you can see, we're all fogged up. These are my night riding glasses. Chuck it over. Hey presto, we're fogged up. Reading glasses. Hey presto, we're all fogged up. And These are those goggles that I use with Max, so they're the Kickstart Victory Orange. Now these, as I've said before, these actually have an anti-fog from the factory. So I'll whack these over, and what you'll notice is, I don't know if you can see that, I've got to get quite a lot of stuff in there, but it doesn't actually fog as such. Let's see if you can, but you can see obviously things are distorted. So it's wet on there, but it doesn't actually fog as such. But that's still an issue. So I don't know what the idea behind that stuff that they've got on it. But yeah, that's when people say that they're bloody anti-fog. Doesn't mean that nothing's going to be in there. All right, so now what we've got to do is we'll turn this off. Oh. We'll put this stuff on. Hopefully these aren't, no, they're not fogged up. So basically the directions are: open packet at the top to avoid damaging towel, remove saturated towel and wipe onto dry glass surface to be treated, allow to dry, buff glass with a dry clean cloth if necessary. Doesn't get bloody any simpler than that, does it? Alright, so we'll get organised, ready to do that. Alright guys, so I'm going to try and do all these just using the one satchel. Now this would obviously is enough to do a whole windscreen on a car, so obviously I'm going to be able to do all this. I've got this pair as well, I forgot, might as well do them as well. So let's do it. Rip it open. What do we got? Nothing. Bloody hell. Good old Mark selling shonky products that don't open properly. There we go. Cool. So it is nice and saturated. Presume we should just wipe it all around. Oh, I'll even do the outside. Why not? That's that done. Do the reading glasses. So I'm presuming just as long as we're wiping and there's a film on there, that's basically all we've got to do. So I'm doing the front and the back, but you only have to do the inside part. Obviously a good idea would be to pre-clean the inside of your glasses, because obviously as you clean, this film is eventually going to wear off and you'd have to redo the fog or the anti-fog stuff. I don't know how long it lasts or whatever at this stage. Last pair. We'll do the outside, come on. Cool, and now, yeah, I reckon I could go, yeah, there's just heaps, so this will do bloody tons. I reckon that'd do a whole bloody car, all the windows on a car, I reckon. So now what we've got to do is just wait for this to dry. I don't know how long it's going to dry. It's not exactly warm here. But yeah, we'll wait for this to dry and then I'll come back to you. Alright, so these have dried up. I've brought them out, I tried them and they fogged up. So the glasses fogged up, the helmet fogged up, both goggles didn't fog up. They were absolutely fantastic. Now I'm going to show you, and I think I'm on to what's going on. I'll grab my reading glasses, chuck that over, and you can see they're fogging up. My riding glasses, hopefully you can spot the dip. Yeah, see that? So there's a little bit of fog, there's foggy patches, but parts of it aren't fogging. Like the goggles are really good. They don't fog up at all. Same as this pair. Try and do this quick, guys. Really good. Now the helmet, put that on. Now this fogged up really quickly. Come on. I've smudged it a bit, but you can see that there's parts that it is and it isn't going on it. Alright, so what I think is going on is that when I've just gave this a quick clean, there's obviously oils on there, and I haven't got rid of the oils, and that's why it's adhered in certain parts and other parts it hasn't. So what I'm going to do is stop this. I'm going to get some Metho or something like that, a really good cleaner, and give these a really good clean, not the goggles, just the other ones. Then I'll redo it and I'll come back to you. I just wanted to show you that that if you do that and they're fogging up, there's a bloody good reason for it. It's not that the fog stuff's not working, it's that the surface hasn't been cleared of any grease or whatever it is. Anyway, cool. Alright guys, so I used the Metho to clean the glasses and the helmet. I've applied that stuff on, let it dry, then I applied a second coat on them. I'll just get this steam going. And what I've found is, I just did this before I bloody was recording. These reading glasses, for some reason, just don't like that anti-fog stuff. I'll put that over now. I mean, it definitely improves it, but as you can see, they're still fogging up. Not as bad as what they were. These glasses have come up pretty good, but you can see they still do fog up. Not nearly as much as what they were. Turn that down. And the helmet is way better than what it was before, but as you can see, you're still getting a certain amount of fog. Now, I don't know if I'm just putting way too much into it, but I know with these and the other ones, these don't have any anti-fog from the factory, but these do. They just don't fog up now. Whereas before I put the anti-fogging stuff on there, they were fogging up. So I don't know 100% what's going on, but I'm going to leave it there for now. I might probably come back to this. I might do a bit of research on it. I don't know whether it's particular composites of either the polycarbonate or the reading glasses or whatever. I'm not too sure, but yeah, it's definitely a marked improvement. But yeah, they still do fog up. Alright guys, so here's the useless tip for the whippersnappers. So as I said, I've got the Maxima chain wax and the Maxima chain guard. So this is your normal gooey, bloody spray on oily stuff. This stuff, you spray it on, it then sets to like a wax. Alright, so I just want to quickly show you the difference between the chain wax and the chain guard. And what I'll do is I'll just spray a bit of that stuff on there. And then we'll, hopefully you guys can see that, and then spray a bit of, obviously you can see the difference there. So what happens, if we can see that, this stuff, this will be gooey at the moment, this stuff's all gooey, but I'll come back to you in a minute. Now what I've done is I've just quickly heated this over the flame just to speed it up, but you can see this stuff still, I don't know if you can see that stuff. Can you see it? I can't see it, but you might be seeing that stuff. So that stuff stays gooey, whereas this stuff here, that gets real tacky and it actually hardens right up to a wax. So it's hard to, you can't really smudge it. See how I first was able to smudge it, but now I can't smudge it. So that's the difference between them. So I've always used this wax ever since I've had Max. It wasn't until I bought the new chain, the heavy duty chain, that I swapped over to this stuff just to give it a whirl, see how it goes. So it went on there. This is messier. It does fling. I mean, it's supposed to be reduced flinging, but of course, there's nothing that you're going to spray that's kind of like a gooey stuff that's not going to fling off. There's going to always be fling off. I don't care how much you pay for it. So you have the bit of the mess part of it, but what I've found is that this comes off way easier than what this stuff does, especially I would presume in the wet when you're riding through puddles and all that kind of stuff. It does wash off. I mean, it's designed to avoid that as much as possible, but I mean it does do it. So if you're a person that goes for a ride, comes home, cleans his bike and re-lubes it, that's not a problem. If you're like me and you go for a ride and you come back and you don't wash your bike and you don't re-lube your thing every time, that's how I am. I shouldn't have to do that every time. This stuff doesn't wash off like that stuff. Now the reason why I'm saying that is because what I found was my brand new chain recently, I noticed it all rusted, so it had all surface rust all over it, and I went, what the hell, I've never had that happen before. And it was purely because I was using this with the wet weather that we've had and going through puddles and stuff. It's washed that stuff off, and then left the chain to then rust. So and that's not to say that I'm using this stuff. I was been through plenty of bloody water and rain and all that kind of stuff while using that, and I never had one of my chains on the DR rust like it did with this one. So in saying that, if you don't want to have to worry about re-lubing your chain every time, that's the one to go with. If you're a finicky person, you go riding and you lube, well then no worries, that'll do the bloody job. The other thing is that these chains, these X-Link chains and all those kind of things, they have the bearings. The grease is already in there. It's in there for the life of it. That's the beauty of these chains. They're always lubed in that sense. When we're spraying stuff on there, it's more of a protection reason on there. I mean, there's obviously a little bit of lubricant that it's doing in between plates and stuff like that, and the rubbers, but essentially it's those rollers that's doing the. I'm rambling now, ramble. Basically, these are more for a protection. So my choice is the chain wax. I've already swapped over to the chain wax now. That's what I'm going to run with. For my purposes, whereas I don't want to have to be, making sure that it's always lubed and, all that kind of stuff. So there you go. A useless tip. Cool. What do you think, Perks? Good stuff? Yeah? Chain wax? Absolutely. Delicious. Alright guys, so some of the long-term, this isn't long-term actually, but I will talk about the grip puppies. So I've had these on. I've been riding this every day. Like I was saying, I'm trying to bloody get me bike fitness up. So they work really good. They do take the vibration out. They do take that when you're in the technical stuff and you're hitting. I was saying that I hadn't tried these with the technical stuff. They work great with the technical. They weren't too thick or anything like that. I feel just perfectly bloody wonderful with it. The one thing that I will say is that I think my hands have to get used to the thicker stuff. I've noticed they seem to get a little bit achy, especially the first time that I did the technical stuff. I started to go, oh geez, that, sometimes it's hard to know whether it's because you're doing the technical stuff and you're hanging on for bloody grim life and all that kind of stuff, but I do think that because they are a bit thicker, my hand just needed to get used to it. But like today, I was out there and I felt really good. My hands didn't ache or anything like that. So I think that's something to be aware of. That when you get the thicker handles, having grip puppies on there, that your hand needs a bit of an adjustment time. Might be a few days worth of bloody half an hour here, an hour there, or whatever riding. And I think then your hand. But I'll tell you a little bit further on down the track anyway how I keep going with them. The other thing is these valve extenders. So I've got that on the front. That's a 135 degree one on the front. And then over here on the back, I have the 90 degree. extender on there. What are you doing? You want a belly rub, don't you? Sorry, guys. I don't know exactly how long I've had these on there, and I reckon I did Murray Sunset, I've done Whipperfeld. Yeah, I've done a few desert runs now. So that's big highway running. Sorry, I'm getting a cramp in my foot. So long highway running with them, sand running with them, technical riding around here with them. I haven't lost any air out of them. They haven't failed on me. They work. That's all I can say. I know some people had concerns and stuff like that, and you know it's the same with those fuel filters that I've added on there. It's like anything. If you add something to your bike, it's just another little fail area, or it's another thing to bloody fail, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. But I just want to let you know that I've been running with them and they still working fine, no problems whatsoever. Now these bottle bags that I've got, and I'm now running it with the gotcha strap around here on each, basically so that it holds. It's an added thing for holding on those snap doodads. And I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that they stay on there. Here's a bit of footage of me doing a bloody jump. So while I've been out doing the bike training and having all the gear that's on the bike that I'm going to be having in the sand, I've been jumping and all that kind of stuff, and those bags just haven't come off. Another thing is me bloody DIY dash thing in there. That works an absolute treat. Just no problems whatsoever. I'm starting to think though that I might end up pushing this even further back so it starts getting towards that the Dakar look, which I wasn't a fan of, but I can see the benefits of it, which means that I might end up doing a bigger dash. I'm not too sure, but we'll just see. Also, I noticed too here, these lights, one of the brackets broke on these lights. It didn't totally break, it just got it so that this was actually wiggly. So what I've done, you can see there, that's using that quick steel. I've done the other side as well. I'll just get around. Basically, hopefully you can see that. So I've put all the quick steel on, I just put it all the way around it on that side. So I put all that around it, and they are just absolutely rock solid now, so really happy with that. Another thing I did ages ago was these reflectors. There used to be a mount on here that came out with the reflector up here, but there was a problem with it touching on the one side. I can't see where it is now, but yeah, there it is. I can feel it. It would rub when it was fully locked, but it would rub on the tank. As this tank grew, it got worse. So I removed those mounts, which was good because it reduced a little bit more weight off the bike. So what I did was I just drilled a hole through the fender and then just nutted it on there. And that is working really good. I don't mind the look of that either. The two fuel filters. So with all that technical riding, this here is just slightly touching on the motor there because that gets hot here. This doesn't get anywhere close to anything. But they're just, everything's working good. It's not leaking. Nothing's bloody melting or anything like that. So that's working really well as well. When me and Alistair were testing these bottle bags, we had an issue where the bottles would slide along the strap that these are attached to, and talked about putting a gotcha strap. So it's basically with the D rings on there, as you can see. Just put that little gotcha strap there, and that they just don't move. They just sit there perfectly. I'm actually really happy the way that works. So that's now freeing up heaps, because I normally have the Nageline, I can't remember how they pronounce it, Nagene, the Nagene bottle in there. So having these two bottles here gives me more water and I've got extra room in here, and these don't get in the way at all. Even my DIY head protector bloody thing made out of the baking tray, or the drying tray, whatever the hell that is, that's still doing its job. So there you go, guys, all those little bits and pieces that we do to our bloody bikes, and that you've seen me do, those certain particular things, they all seem to be running really good. I don't think there's been really anything that I've actually done to the bike that's kind of like I've gone, oh no, that's a really bad thing, apart from that, using that different chain lube. I think everything's been pretty good, you know. I've had the busted lights, but being able to fix that's, you know, that you're going to get stuff like that, yeah. Anyway, alright, so now we'll get set up, and I'll just give you a rundown of what I'm doing, where we're going with Alistair and that little desert trip. Alright guys, so I said me and Alistair are doing Little Desert, so hopefully this weekend, no rain, we're off. Taking off from Bendigo. We're going to trailer the bikes up, obviously, because Alistair's bikes only got the rec reg, so we're actually going to take both the bikes up with a trailer and pull up at Dimboola, and then we're going to do a 235 kilometre circuit. I think about half of that is just going to be all in the straight sand, and then we'll take some back roads to come back to Dimboola. So it's looking like it's going to be pretty tough stuff in there, especially on loaded up bikes. So what I've been trying to work out is that normally what I would do is I just fill this bloody 30 litre, which is measurable, I think it's about 35, 36 litres I can get in it now. I just chock-a-block fill it up and then just forget. Doesn't matter if I'm only doing 100 Ks or whatever, I just fill it up and away I go. But that's a lot of bloody extra weight that I'm carting around, so I'm working out that I'm going to only carry 20 litres in here. 20 litres will get me about 350 Ks, so that should get me the whole way, no worries whatsoever. So that's a weight saving of at least 10 kilograms straight up. With my sleeping stuff, I'm not taking my tent, I'm just going to do the tarp, as some of you guys might have seen that tarp setup that I have that comes off the bike, so you'll see that when we do the video for that ride. So that's saving me a bit of weight there over bringing the tent. I'm not taking the big Helinox cot. I'm just using that Cedar Summit, which I did the review on. So that's saving me a heap of weight. I'm bringing 6.2 litres of water. So I've got a litre here, a litre there. These litre bottles at the back, I've only put half a litre in each of those. I'll carry 2 litres on my back. I can carry 3, but I'm only going to put 2 in it. I've got 2 600ml bottles of water there. So I think that it comes out to about 6.2. About 40 Ks into the ride, there is a spot there where they have a rain tank or a water tank or whatever, where we can actually get water. So we'll just see. I mean, it's only 40 K in, but if it's really hard, and like Alistair said, like the first 5 Ks of the thing, it's really hard going, getting through it. So we've got a chance to top up there, and then I can ascertain whether I need to fill these back ones. But I don't want to start fully bloody loaded with that much weight and really bugger myself out doing that. I'm only going to be taking the tin food. I'm not going to be cooking up bloody breakfasts. I'm actually have a breakfast bar or something like that. Try and keep all that stuff as light as possible. You know, things like the tripod. I normally bring the tripod that you guys are on. It's a bigger one. It's heavier. I've got this little shitty one from years ago, so I'm taking that. This thing's half the weight of that one. I mean, it only comes up so high, but for the amount of times that I'll use the tripod on the trip, I'm doing that. So I'm just trying to bloody alleviate as much weight as possible. So anyway, that's what's happening. Alright guys, so hopefully the next video after this will actually be that trip. See how we go, see if we actually make it through. I'm just praying to God that that I can make it through, not bloody come off, because that really, as soon as you come off, that just stuffs you out so much, and then it just gets worse and worse and worse. So yeah, there you go. Alright guys, I'll stop babbling, keep on riding.